not super fancy at all either. I'm kind of boring. I like want to learn how to do
Good.
more of a Canva and all that stuff. So it's literally a Google Doc, but
You're right.
I
That's
like,
fine. So
yeah,
do you want me to share it on my screen then?
whatever's easier. I mean, I could
Okay.
click on share on my end, or because I could see it now, I could click share, but you could do your side. It's probably easier.
Okay. Then you just tell me where to scroll and
Okay,
I'll just and
sure.
I'll oops, that's the wrong one. There.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Okay, so like I said, it's not like really pretty to look at, but like the idea of what I want to do, I'm excited to try with my seventh grade science classes. So I have it as like a 30 to 40 minute. Can you zoom in a little bit more, even with my
Yep.
glasses?
Okay. There. Is that better?
Yeah, that's way better. Okay. So we do 80-minute blocks. So this works perfect. I can use like half a block to do this. And I kind of like the idea of maybe even building on this in the future, like maybe once a marking period, doing something like an expansion of this. But basically, it just talks about for the objectives are for the kids is that they, and I will post this on the board because I do that with all my science objectives, is for them to recognize when they are following an unhelpful mental script, practice replacing those scripts with growth mindset strategies, and then how to apply those strategies when they are actually faced with a challenge. And in science, they tend to give up really easily. So this is like perfect. And we talk about this all the time as teachers, like why do kids give up so easily? They're not reading. They find a challenge and they don't want to work through it. So it's very basic. You only need the whiteboard. I have 4x6 whiteboards for every group, the big ones, um, sticky notes or index cards. And then I created a script for a new story worksheet. It's very basic on the doc, but I would make it better for the kids. And then scenario cards that I did add to this too. So I can show that at the end. So then the lesson plan, whenever you're ready. Um, yep. So it'd be like a simple start, like, I'd write on the board, this science problem is too hard. I'm just bad at science. I'll do this later. Like those are all kind of things that you hear the kids say. And I, think to myself, like, all right, I'm gonna ask them, have you ever thought something like this during class? Like, be honest, because a lot of times they won't tell you that because they think that they can't say stuff like that to teachers, but I listen to conversations. Um, and then I would just say to them, like, listen, sometimes our brain follows a script and we get into a habit and we automatically think we're not good at something and we kind of can't break through. Um, so I let them know like a script is I can't do this, and automatically I shut down. I copy the lab from someone instead. Just follow with everybody else. So with that, I would say let's do a little mini lesson on breaking this mind this this track of the thought process. So I would introduce the mind shifting strategies at that point. So when your brain says, I can't do this, I would show them all these other things that they could say instead, like we did, during that one class. So some of them were perhaps I can, I only need to take this next step. Another one was that's exactly how I'm supposed to feel when I try something new. Like today, they took a quiz and we put one of the state questions on there that had to do with electricity and magnetism. And right away, because there was a graphic and there was like information at the top, they shut down. It wasn't easy. And first thing I would come up to a kid, I would say to them, take the first step, analyze the image first, and I'll be back if you need me. A lot of times they didn't need me back because I forced them to take one step.
That's so
Um,
cool. That is so cool.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, ooh, like that worked today. And then after those phrases, I would show them like there are two types of stress, which again, I didn't know that these were named that until I took this course. The distress and the eustress. I'd like to put images of what that looks like on my wall. Maybe use Canva, maybe show what distress and eustress looks like. And then I would just tell students that feeling confused in science can actually mean your brain is learning. It's that breaking through, like not making it so frustrating that they don't want to be there, but like that challenge that helps them grow and learn. I would tell them that's actually normal. It shouldn't be like science shouldn't be simple. And then we would go into what's called script detective. Um, this is where we give them a few scenarios. So like make it simple. Like we built balloon cars for forces for Newton's laws. So a lot of the kids' cars didn't move. So that's like a scenario. Right away, some of the kids were like, "Oh my God, I got to come in for lunch to do this." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, like hold on a second." Another one would be just like you got some question on the quiz wrong about electricity, which is what we took today, or your experiment isn't working. Like those are some scenarios. So I would tell the kids work in pairs and like answer the following questions. So what would be a script that someone might follow? What's a better story that you could tell yourselves? And then what action would change because of the new story? So I'm terrible at experiments, but the new story could be perhaps I could try a different way and then change the design test again. Like so with the balloon cars, perhaps there's another way of going about this. Let me go back to the counter where all the materials are. Is there a better way to get the wheels to turn, to get the axle to turn, instead of like, oh my God, I failed the balloon car experiment? And then from there, I like that whole emotional cookie jar idea, which that would be another good image on my wall, showing an actual cookie jar. And like, for example, here I love sports, so I like the athlete part here for to compare to scientists, to remember that both types of people in those walks of life remember that their past successes to stay motivated. Sorry, I'm like remember forgetting what I said. Athletes and scientists remember their past successes to stay motivated. So like they learn from their mistakes. And I would ask them to write three things they are proud of in science or school. We don't usually do this, and I felt like this is such a simple, easy thing to do. Um, the fact that the car went a meter, like that would be a great thing to like list. Like my car made it the 1 meter that we needed to. We were able to create the circuit, and the light bulb went on. Like those are examples of things they should be proud of. And then just tell them these achievements are your emotional cookie jar. You can go back and go, remember when I was able to get my car to go when it couldn't? And I worked through it and our group figured it out. Like go back to those, and those things help you move on with future problems because you can go back and go, I did this, I got this. And then just a closing reflection, ask them to answer like kind of an exit slip. What is one script you sometimes follow in science? What is a new story you can tell yourself? And what strategy will you try next time you feel stuck? So they at least have something to go back to go, I've been stuck before and I'll find a way out of it like I did before. Um, so like I'll never understand this, but I only need to take this. And then we call this thing called chunk studying. And my group of 6 through 8 science teachers, we say take a little bit at a time every night to work on concepts. Don't look at the whole unit. Take a chunk. What are you going to work on tonight? All right, I'm going to work on understanding an electromagnet tonight before next class. I'm going to take that one step. And they seem to take that better. Like, all right, it's not a lot. I'm going to focus on this. Next time, I'm going to focus on something else. And then there's just some extra ideas. Like we could put like a word wall of perhaps I can take the next step. Challenges help me grow. This is eustress. This is what it looks like. Or what would I love to happen? Like just some things they can look on the wall when they feel stuck. And then I on the bottom of the my doc here, I think I have my worksheets next. So if you go down, so that's like a very simple worksheet. I would make it better looking than this, but that's the part where they would have the script versus the new story. They would write a situation, a possible negative thought that comes to your mind, or what you typically might say, and then have the new story next to it, and then what would be the next action. And I might have like 4 or 5 rows for them to fill in as they work in groups. And then at the bottom are the scenario cards that the kids would have. So like one of them is you get a science quiz back, and your score is lower than you expected. Like, what would you do? Like, and go through like the script above. How would you typically react? What could be the new story? And then what's the next action? And we would just have them practice all those scenarios. And maybe not in one day. Maybe we would say, let's practice like 2 scenarios today. And then keep the rest for every like few weeks practice and keep it, you know, where they're always going back to it. Because if you don't, I feel like they're going to forget how to do this. And I think that's all I have on there.
That's all?
That's all.
It's so good.
Oh,
I
wow.
love it.
Yeah.
I have a comment here on that one. I do karaoke with teachers, and I have an absolute rule that we have no ringers sing first, or no one will sing. And we just had a ringer sing first, so it was really amazing. Wow.
I want to make it pretty. It's not pretty right now, but I like the plan I have, and I think like I can make things visually better in the room for them as I like present this stuff as I try it. So it was boring looking, but I feel like it's a good start.
Have you ever presented at conferences?
No.
Oh, you should. And you should, like I think a session on this, you get standing room only. This is so good.
Yeah,
And like
maybe
so many
like
different things.
yeah, and we have like, we can present to our teacher center like coordinator like ideas of what we would like to teach other teachers in the district. But I always feel kind of like I don't know if I have enough information or whatnot to give. So it's something to think about.
I don't know. I think this is enough information to give.
Thank you.
So yeah, this is so great. And and I love the phrase script detective. Like it's
Yeah.
really gamifying it. The kids could get really into that, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I feel like this day and age, like it's really hard to teach now. And when you could find ways to like make it relating to what they're doing now on these Chromebooks and
Hmm.
whatnot, I feel like they perk up.
So great, great
Thank
going.
you.
And I know we had a request for number two. So Fatima, are you
Yes, Fatima, I'm here.
Fatima? And would you like to present or would you like me to present? Or
Can you could you
yeah,
present? Yeah.
okay. Then I have just to find you on the spreadsheet and then share my screen. Here we are.
Okay, so I teach in Spanish, and I have like a 20-minute time frame on Fridays for cell lessons. So there are two things that I wanted to focus on. One is constructive self-talk and empathy. Diálogo interno constructivo y empatía. And you can go to the next one, please. So the slides were kind of overwhelming as I was making them on AI. So I was like really asking, can you do less clutter? And so this was a little better. So I always, with my third graders, I do like what, how, and why. So the objective, learn to use perhaps I can when something is difficult, and be curious when someone is angry. The cómo, observamos situaciones practicando tal vez si puedo y jugando un juego de curiosidad. And the why, to solve problems, calm our brains, and understand others better. And I usually do other, I used to do these ones in second grade. I do other ones, but I couldn't add them here. But it's pretty much the same thing. I have many options to do monsters like coming down or different videos of breathing. Thank you. Okay, so when we face a challenge, cuando enfrentamos un desafío, what can we do when something is difficult or doesn't go well? So here, do we give up? Do we get frustrated? Do we get angry? Do we make excuses? That is very normal if that happens. But these close the door to learning opportunities. So we are gonna look at something else that we can do. So we are gonna focus on the word, perhaps I can, tal vez si puedo. So instead of saying, I can't do this, we can say, perhaps I can. And so I would ask my students to say with me, tal vez si puedo. And so that way we keep the door open. And then we have a new thought, a new opportunity. And I will try to just be more excited. I'm kind of tired right now, but I would be more excited. Next one, please.
Well, I'm excited to be reading this. So,
Okay, so when someone is angry, cuando alguien está enojado, what can we do when someone is angry and is in limbic mode? And previously I have already taught them about our limbic brains. And so can we just give up, say, I can't do this? Do we just get frustrated? Frustrarse? O podemos ser curiosos, we can be curious and ask questions. So we have like those two options. And so we got to think about, what can be more helpful to us using our reasoning brain. Okay, so when someone is upset, we pause and we listen. Cuando alguien está molesto, hace una pausa y escucha. Okay, and here's when we work with our curiosity, okay, to understand what happened and why the other person is upset. So instead of mirroring how they're feeling, practice our listening and empathy. So we can ask questions like, what happened? How do you feel? And we can stay on our same positive side, right? And so as I'm teaching that, I also wanna keep it in my mind. So teaching it is very helpful for me to keep that as well for me to learn. Okay, and so then there is a game, the Curiosity Challenge, el desafío de la curiosidad. And so my students, they love acting, like they love doing those actor and actress things. And so I would have like one player get really frustrated. And so the number 2 person would be calm and be curious. And so I would provide a scaffold for them to choose and practice those ahead of time. And we would have some questions that they can ask after they have listened. And they will take turns and do it the other part as well. Okay, and so at the end, we give each other a high five or a hug, and we say that we can do hard things. And that was my 20-minute sail lesson on a Friday, bilingual. Thank you.
so have you used it yet?
I haven't. I plan to use it this Friday.
Oh, it's so cool. And and I'm thinking, I don't remember if in this class we have teachers who teach Spanish, but if you're, teaching like second or third year Spanish, I think you could use this, as a way of teaching language also. So it's kind of serving a double purpose. But I love the fact that it's bilingual, the graphics, the video, the role playing. It's like, I think the kids are going to love it. I'd like to take it.
All right. Thank you.
I think the graphics are really eye-catching. It's easy, whether it's in Spanish or English, for me to understand what you're going for just visually. I think it's really well done. Great job.
Amazing. I do have a question. Were those graphics AI generated? And I'm sorry, I stepped away to get my hot tea and I might have missed it. Were they AI generated?
Yes, they were AI. And sometimes I had to let it know that it wasn't translating it correctly, or it had too many images. So I was like, let's do less images.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for trusting AI to do some work for you. That's awesome. Loved it. Loved the graphics. Loved it all.
Mitch, I've been keeping track of the order that everyone wants to go and marking it in
So
the
I have,
thing.
I have
We have
Alondra,
Dangerous.
yeah,
Yep.
and then Lauren,
Laura
I think.
Barnes.
Laura.
Yep.
Okay, so I think I can share my screen.
Okay.
I think it's sharing a request for you.
Okay. Yep. It's just
Sorry if you guys hear whining kids.
And it's so cool. Like I'm thinking, wow, you're doing this with a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old next to you. That's really cool.
Okay, let me see. Am I sharing? See. Okay, it's gonna give me problems. Can you share for me?
Sure.
Thank you.
Give me a second. Okay. So
Do you want to do
now,
the PowerPoint first, and then I could do the worksheet at the end?
okay. So, okay, then I'll share. Okay.
I'm not seeing.
Are other people seeing it? Maybe
Okay.
I see
did I
it.
Yeah,
did I share the wrong thing?
I see it.
Oh, okay. Oh, let me go. Now I just unshared, but let me go back.
Well, for some reason, mine's like 200 Zoom. That's probably why.
Oh,
I
okay.
have no idea what is happening. Okay, so I did mine for sixth to eighth grade, and I'm calling it muting the inner hater. So a hack, how to hack your brain when it's being a total hater. And so this is based on the perhaps I can statements. Okay, so meet the hater. So it's the voice that says, just give up. This is too much work. And it loves to tell you when you're going to get in trouble anyway, so why try? And it thrives on the fixed mindsets of the I can't. So newsflash, this voice isn't you, it's a bad habit. It hates effort and loves drama. Today we're going to mute the hater using perhaps I can hack. And today's objective is moving from I can't handle this, which is the hater, to perhaps Emmy, come here. Okay, shh. To perhaps I can manage one part of this, the bomb. Okay. Yeah, mommy's gonna present. Okay, shh.
Great.
Respira. Okay, Ira, diles hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello,
No,
Pumpkin.
ahorita, no crying. Deja-
Hello.
Are you going to help your mommy present?
¿Me vas a hablar? Sí. Okay, so good. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so the perhaps I can hack. You don't have to be a perfect student to win. You just have to be a perhaps student. The hack is every time the hater says I can't, you reply with perhaps I can, and why it works. I have the little one over here making noise. Okay. Perhaps lower this the perhaps lowers the stress. It's not a lie, it's a possibility. And the power of perhaps I can. So when we say I can't, our brain stops looking for solutions. When we say perhaps I can, we open the door. So I also wanted to incorporate the script part about changing the script. And so the formula is doing a new script with perhaps I can. So I'm the old script is I'm bad at this. The new script is perhaps I can get better if. And then there's an activity which has a worksheet, which I'll show after the presentation. So the activity is half of the students in this class will have a slip with an inner hater quote, which is the I can't. So there'll be some I can't statements. And then the other half is going to have the perhaps I can. So they have to, when I count to 3, they have to find their match. And that's going to be who they're going to be partnered with to work on the worksheet. And so then I added to be prepared to share with the class what statements your inner hater relates to the most. And then on the next slide, I have a reflection. So after we're done with the activity is wanting to know on a scale of 1 to 10 how loud their inner hater has been this week. Because I feel like oftentimes I even catch myself, saying I can't. So I'm curious to know that. And also what's the hardest I can't for them to flip into perhaps I can. And then a more deeper question would be, why do you think your brain finds it easier to believe the hater than the actual potential? And then we want to show the worksheet. So the worksheet, can you zoom in a little bit?
Is that better?
Yeah. Okay. So the worksheet is the one that the students would be working on, and it kind of just goes on to talk about changing the scripts and using perhaps I can as a method. So what is the inner hater actually saying? And then the remix part would be rewriting with the perhaps I can, and then I added the action cue, and those are the little steps that you're taking forward to make a change. So, in the example that I added in blue, it's the inner hater says, I'm trash at math. I'll never get this geometry stuff. I should just give up. So, the perhaps I can remix is perhaps I can understand this if I ask the teacher to show me one more example after class. The action cue is raise my hand during the next practice problem. And then the presentation is another scene. So I added different scenes, which, the inner hater is saying, I'm going to stumble over my words and everyone is going to laugh at me during my speech. So then the students have to come up with a perhaps I can and an action cue. So a small step to making change to their thought process. And then the other one is the tryout, which is I didn't make the starting lineup because I'm just not as talented as the other kids. I'm a bench warmer for life. I feel like I hear a lot of kids that don't get a lot of playing time, or the coaches have their favoritism, or it's because I'm no good. And so I thought adding something about sports in there would be good, especially for middle school. And then the other one is the blank page. This essay is too long. I have zero good ideas, and I'm going to fail this whole unit. And so again, they'd have to come up with a perhaps I can statement and an action cue, and then a creative one where I'm having them invent their own, perhaps one that they struggled with. And then I want them to come up with what their inner hater is saying, perhaps I can remix in an action cue. And then I added a last quote on there. But the end of the worksheet is the script isn't finished until the movie is over. You're the director. If you don't like the line, rewrite it. And I had help from AI as well. So I kind of helped me out with this worksheet and putting my ideas together for the PowerPoint. And
Wow.
that's it. Sorry, I was talking really fast.
Wow. Well, it was kind of hard, right? Yeah. It's like so many different things because you have the kids like moving around. You have them. You give them scaffolding with the worksheet. You explain the ideas. The graphics. The graphics are great. You're just using so many different elements here.
But it's also like helping them work through real life scenarios, which we need more of. Like we need to practice conflicting issues as students, and I love it. I always think giving them a chance to struggle a little bit and to work through those feelings is a great option. Awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. And you know what I was thinking about the whole time you're presenting is yesterday I had a bunch of sixth graders get into a big argument about whether Trump was good for us or not good for us as in the United States. And these are sixth graders, and I stay out of it. I mean, and they'll ask me some questions, and I will I answer them as honestly as I can, right? Knowing the crazy that we're living in right now. But what I loved is all of this applies to all of that these kids, and these are sixth graders that are feeling it, right? So lovely job. Thank you.
And you all are seeing why we love this, right? They're so cool. So I think Laura Barnes.
Yeah. So mine's might not be very usable to anybody else. So sorry, guys. I went for entertainment value and I made a little video, a little music video, if you will. And it's for colleagues. That my idea was like, like a share out at a staff meeting. Sometimes admin, principal is like, let's share about what we're learning professional development wise, and it's like a hook. So, my hope would be that my colleagues would want to learn more about eustress. So, Mitch, if you wouldn't mind just clicking on
Sure.
the link, and then everyone can hopefully enjoy. And it's meant to be humorous. So enjoy.
Okay, here goes.
Oh my God, Becky, look at that stress. It feels so big. I mean, learning gets hard sometimes, but you know what? Sometimes pressure actually helps your brain grow. People think stress is always bad, but there's actually more than one kind.
I think we just became best friends.
I like you stress, and I cannot lie. You other colleagues can't deny. When a challenge pops up and you're learning space and your brain feels stuck in place, you feel stressed. Think this is tough, that shutdown feeling, that's distress. Distress makes the brain regress, shuts things down and adds more stress. Your thinking gets stuck, your confidence drops, and learning suddenly stops. But a little pressure helps you grow, lights your brain up, neurons go. When something's tricky and you persist, your brain builds stronger paths like this. That kind of challenge helps you progress. And that kind of learning is eustress. 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 Helps you push when things feel tough. Try again, you got enough. When doubt shows up and your brain feels stress. Interceptor says, pause. Notice this. Take a breath. Slow it down. Reset your brain right now. Then steps right in, helps you choose what happens next. Try again. Do your best. That's how stress becomes eustress. 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 So when learning feels like a test, is this distress shutting learning down, or eustress turning it around, around, around? Eustress. Me stress, you stress, you stress, you stress, you stress, you stress.
Kids
That
have
is
to
like
love
stuck
you.
in my head. It's so good.
Kids have to absolutely love you. Please tell me you used AI to create some of those lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, good. That was awesome. That fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame because looking at the comments, it didn't look like anybody liked it, right? Wow, that was so cool. Thank you. And like again, it's in the spreadsheet, so you all can use it, you know. Wonderful.
Really well done. And then we have Heidi Piper who asked to go next.
Okay. And if other people want to go, just put it into the chat so I can put your name, we can put your names down.
Yeah, I'll keep track of your order and kind of help you out.
Well, now I feel bad that I said I'd go Nick's after that because mine is not like that. But that was amazing.
You know what,
then
Heidi?
maybe
The fact
hear
that
it.
they're
I'm
all
just
so
kidding.
different is the power in all of them.
Well, and that's
I would never do
honestly
that.
what I love. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
Thank you.
So you're brilliant and amazing just the way you are. Go ahead, Heidi.
So mine, and Mitch, you're welcome to share. The lesson plan is just a straightforward lesson plan. I was just going to kind of talk about, I did my lesson today with my third graders. And I've used this book a lot in the past 29 years that I've taught third and fourth grade. But I wanted to write this lesson and have it like be purposeful and think about all of these different type of stresses and concerns that that the kids have. So this is the book, and it's called Ralph Tells a Story. And it's actually about a little boy who I obviously won't read it to you now, but you should read it. And it's actually for any grade, even though it's a everybody book, it's just a thin everybody book. It is a book for any age group. When you have kids that at journal time, some kids just get right to writing, and some kids just don't know what to write, and they sit there forever and ever and ever. So today, when I taught the lesson, we were in our circle time area, and I just talked to them about what do we do when we get stuck in our writing. And a lot of the kids have this year. And then they sit there for 10 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes, they might write something or not. And so we talked about it. And then we also talked about what are we telling ourselves? What are we saying to ourselves? And what do we try to do to overcome that? Do you do anything to try to overcome it, or do you just wait out the teacher? So then I told him, as we read the story, or as I read the story, then to think about what Ralph goes through throughout the time of, and then how he problem solves it at the very end. And so I read the story, and then after reading it, we talked about how our brain does make us feel stressed, and then what we can do to try to solve that. And so after I read it, I passed, and we had our discussion. I passed out 3 sticky notes. This is just one of my kids' journals, but I passed out 3 sticky notes. And then, like the lesson plan said, people, places, and things. And then they got to walk around the room with their either by themselves or their friends. And if you ever read the book, you'll know it's in the classroom. But he to walk around and then find things. What in the classroom could you write about? Or just what are some nouns? I mean, we all live in here almost all day, the kids and I. So what are just some nouns? And then, and if they could not, I gave them like 5 to 10 minutes. Then if they couldn't think of anything, then they could link up with other people. And in the story, it's super cute. There's this little girl that says, "Are you kidding? You have nothing to write about? I write stories about you all the time." And so, so they could link up with a friend to help them think of ideas. And then what they did afterwards is they used from their sticky notes, they got to write, it could be real, make-believe, or a combination. She wrote my first friend. And so, do you want to learn about my first friend? Yes. Okay. And then she started using the things from her sticky notes. Some of it's real and some of it isn't. But just to have ownership of knowing that sometimes I don't know what to write about. And we think we have nothing to write about. Even as 8-year-olds, some years 8-year-olds are pretty good. They don't care. They just write about anything and everything. In other years, we have kids that sit there for a long time. Also in 3rd grade, we have to get past the, is this spelled correctly? I know that's a hot topic, but when we're trying to just get ideas down, that's what we do in this journal. We practice our grammar and spelling and different things like that at a different time. But just getting them to think that what they have to say, their voice is okay. And so that's something that that we did today. And then also afterwards, then as people are writing the last, after 10 minutes, people got to share out what they're writing. And in 3rd grade, so many want to share out. And so they shared out, and that gave other people more time to write or some more ideas of people who are struggling to think of ideas. I will tell you, there are years that we work most of the year to get people just to have ideas and feel confident in their writing. But at the same time, I even send this book home and have them read it on their own or with their family. I have them do that. I mean, I have a little boy. Well, now I think he's in 10th or 11th grade. But I had Daniel take this home, and him and his mom read it together. And then they started journal writing at home just to kind of get some ideas down and have an idea list that he does. So also at the end of my lesson, these are just, I love children's literature, and I love it. I can teach preschool through 12th grade. I've chosen elementary most of the time. These are just some that I have in a classroom that I use, but I have about 15 books that are all about you being enough and that you matter. And so I read those often to my kids. And these are just some that when I was sitting in my classroom, just deciding, okay, which are some as testing's coming up, state testing's coming up, which ones do I want to remind the kids that, yeah, you're loved and what you say matters. And so that's what I went for. That's all I have to say.
That was exceptional.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing always is the resources, right? I've never heard of any of those books. And so my Amazon account is open, and my husband's going to be thrilled when he sees more books coming into the house. But
More kids' books, right?
excellent, Heidi. I loved it. Go ahead.
And
Mitch,
this
take it
really
away.
is, if you're all the way, I would say even through middle school. I mean, is just my opinion, but this book has been so helpful all the way from kindergarten and preschool, getting ideas down all the way through middle school. This Ralph tells a story by Abby Hanlon, I think her last name is. But even this weekend when I was at home and I wanted to write my lesson plan for this, and I didn't have this book at home. And I'm just like, man, I don't want to go up to school and find a book. But you know what? I could have done it on a bunch of other books that, some that I listed. But it's like this book was just important to me because kids not feeling like what they have to say in their writing matters or it's not good enough. This book just is really helpful and a good one to have, I think.
And Heidi, what I love about it, thanks for letting me comment one more time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm an adjunct professor at like 3 universities.
Mm-hmm.
And I think adults love being read to. I've never taken a book in and had kids.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll show the example. They're like, oh no, we need to know how it ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I think this gives kids a foundation that they're going to use the rest of their lives whenever they're stuck writing. It's like you just open the door for them for the rest of their lives. What a gift.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just learned about that story today for the first time, so I'm really excited to read it too.
Yeah, we're all going to go on to, Amazon or Walmart or something. We're all going to buy these books.
Right. We have Miss Monica who would like to go next. Heidi, great job, guys. You're just killing it. Killing it.
Is Monica Van Loon? I don't know if there is other Monicas.
No, it's you.
Nope. Yep.
Hey, gracias. So my lesson is the first one. It's not much to see. So will you share it for me, please?
Sure.
Or do you want me to share it?
No, I can, or either one. But I can share it.
You can share it. That'd be nice. Thank you. So this came out of a need because my students, I'm teaching high school and I'm known and I actually enjoy being a klutzy person or somebody who actually likes to be playful with them. So I feel like they've been taking advantage of me somehow, and they've been being a little more pushy than normal lately. And I know spring is in the air and all those things, but it was starting to make me feel bad. And instead of feeling disrespected, I really thought, okay, this is their development and let's do something about it. But I didn't want to come with a speech. I teach high school Spanish, and I have 30 students in my class. They are all taller than me, mostly boys, and I didn't want to do something that was not going to be successful. So what I did is I asked ChatGPT to help me. We are doing the reflexive verbs right now, and the reflexive verbs are things that you do to yourself, or that you are the person that receives the action and does the action. Like I take a bath, things like that. I bathe myself. That's what you would be saying. So I chose only 5 because too many is way too much. Actually, I don't love the verb respetar, but that's to respect because it's too general. But I also feel like they have a point of reference. So that's what I kept it. So the objective is for them to reflect because I felt that this was not something that I wanted to teach them like front load. I wanted them to feel it and experiment. So I had a story that actually, when I asked ChatGPT, was too close to my real one. So I thought, no, that's not good because this girl was trying to make me say the boo hoo, but her friends were laughing and it made me feel very uncomfortable. And so what I thought is, okay, just give me a story. So in this story, somebody feels bad because other people are laughing, and I use the more like questions, like, what does it mean to respect yourself? It's a little up higher. A little, yeah, that, yeah, thank you. So I want them to know what does it mean to respect yourself, right? Because you usually say, oh, you're respecting others, but this is about you respecting yourself, and you're respecting yourself as a student, you're respecting yourself as a member of this community. And my students don't see themselves as part of the class because they come in and out and they take many classes with many people. I teach in a really large high school, so one of my goals is always make them feel like this is us. This is us. It's not you, me, separate, right? So respect yourselves. And how do you respect in class? And what do you do when something makes you feel uncomfortable? So then, thank you. You can go a little lower. Then we have the thanks. There's the reading activity where they are just gonna read, identify verbs. This is in very simple Spanish too. And then I just want them to just keep. Can you go lower, please? Exacto. So, and the cool thing is that I'm using the routine. So they are talking about the daily routine. So I want them to see in their daily life how can they include these verbs. How does it feel when somebody just listening to somebody else laughing and they think that you're talking about yourself? I know that I just didn't want to make it too childish because these kids are gonna shut. So I just wanted them to keep asking those questions and come up with ideas. And I haven't done the lesson, so it's gonna come up next week. What else? Just how to help people, and but it's very much about shifting your mindset to the empathy. You were talking about Renee Brown, and I feel like empathy is something that teenagers developmentally don't have. It's all about themselves, so it's a constant reminder that is somebody else in the room, is not only you. So that's what that was my goal. And just a little back and forth and discussions like that, the interest stays on each other and they can actually talk about their feelings. And what else? This um Yeah, I think that's pretty much the main idea. Um, and include it on the later routine so they see themselves doing it as a habit, not something that is. And I really needed to include it on my lesson, so that's what I went with the reflexive verbs. Yep, that's it. When I see other people, maybe that's too simple, but I honestly, the high school first period, 30 kids. This is good. Thank you.
Yeah, I just I think that when you're combining like multiple ways of thinking. So one way of thinking is, they're thinking about a story. Another way of thinking is they're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about other people. They're reflecting together. They're thinking in English and they're thinking in Spanish. It's like you're hitting so many different parts of the brain with this that this is something that they're, you know, that your message is really going to hit deep and hit home because you're attacking it from so many different areas, and to build these skills while you're also building, um, Spanish speaking is pretty awesome.
Thank you. And I get so many ideas from this that listening to others, like you said, this is my favorite class too, because you can actually, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Honestly,
Uh,
Monica, I just love listening to you speak. Monica, every time you talk, I'm engrossed in what you're saying. You have this personality that just brings it out. So not only is your thing good, but you have a really good way of presenting it. So
really,
thank
yeah.
you.
Gracias.
Um, awesome job. And then we don't have anyone yet who signed up to be next to share. So if anyone wants to, the floor is yours.
Hello, I missed the opening. So were there instructions at the beginning of today's class? I came in late.
No problem. This is kind of your turn to shine. So if you made a project and you would like to share it with the class, we can present it for you and you can kind of tell us what's going on with it or your thought process through it, and that's about it.
I can. I have it on my screen, I think, but where do I go
Great.
to? I see a share green
Yeah,
icon.
if you want to press that and see if it works. If it doesn't, then Mitch will help us out.
I think I have too many things up and they're very tiny for my old eyes.
Did you
Maybe
share?
Mitch can do it. I
I
did.
I have it on my screen.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be better. Um, I am a retired person. I taught Spanish for 32 years and I interpret now and I substitute mainly as a para educator for the Bellingham Public Schools. And I want to give a shout out to the district because they do work on mental health in every school I've been, and I've visited all of them, and I cannot see what Mitch shared. I'm seeing my stuff, which is, I had a very long day today. So, okay. I just did a lesson that I could do a little bit and I could pick up on it and then I could do it the next day if I had um, a class and then I could remind them another day and it's kind of I can do a little bit or I could do it all and it's a very, very basic thing. Always I did add objectives on my copy that didn't get shared here, but the objectives are for kids to share their understanding of the term mindfulness and then to practice or learn a new breathing technique. And it could be one that came from the kids themselves. I'm always surprised when I ask kids what they know, that there are kids that know a lot. They, you'd be surprised. So, I mean, not as teachers, but I'm always surprised. So, and then the third objective is to kind of wrestle with the term mind shifting, shift your mind. Um, I thought kids would really enjoy guessing what it might mean for a while. So, number one, bring kids to the carpet. Oh, excuse me, have on hand some coloring pages, and I think I would probably update those or find better ones and carry the book I Can Do Hard Things by Gabi Garcia. So ask the little ones, it's for grades 1 through 3, to come to the carpet, ask them if they have heard of mindfulness, write down their ideas about it is around the term mindfulness, which are written in large letters on the whiteboard or a trifold display. And they might come up with recess or fun or happy, or these are examples of what kids might say. Then add some pictures. The students can choose to return to their desks to draw a concept, and the pictures could be cut out to surround the word. I could draw some pictures. Kids could draw directly if I knew the kids a little bit. And if kids do not have many ideas, I could add a few terms and discuss those, not too many. Then celebrate our interpretation of the term with high fives and specific commendations, like trying to stay positive, but kids might be able to tell which one of the pictures that they like, the color or something. Then if there's more time, that could be the whole lesson right there, just and leave that up around the room somewhere. But if there's more time, we could return to the carpet and ask students if they know any breathing techniques, because I have seen these at school assemblies, in classrooms, in the Promise K class, in high school classes. I've been at every school in the Bellingham Public Schools, and everywhere they're using breathing techniques. So I could try to learn one from a kid in the class, or I could teach one of the following: the bunny breathing for a kind of active class. Take short, quick breaths with the mouth closed. Pause and breathe out slowly. So it's kind of funny. I would maybe have the kids stand up. Try it, you guys. Try it. It makes you feel sort of silly. And then you can even have them, just to have fun for a while with kids, you can have them do it with a partner, holding hands or just looking at another person, and they can be silly a little while. Or you can do figure eight breathing, and I won't go into that one now, but I thought it was a little calmer choice. I thought if that could be a stop point too, and then the breathing could be brought up later in the day in the class if kids are getting a little like they need a transition time. 5, we could discuss working hard in school. They could talk about their family members, the ones who have 2 jobs. We could discuss, is school hard? How does working hard help kids in the class? And then I would read the book, I Can Do Hard Things, and ask the students to share something they liked about the book, an example of something that was hard that the character handled. And then I got these coloring pages actually from a high school class that I subbed for. I grabbed them. And if there's time, we could do the coloring, and I could ask kids to be mindful, use the term mindful about choosing colors that might be calming, and taking time to really design it and enjoy it. And I even thought kids could draw their own picture and color it more in a creative way, creating the art instead of just coloring. And then if there's more time, I thought we could even hit mind shifting. And just the idea, the word shift your mind. Hey, kids, what do you think it might mean? Shift your mind. And is the rest of the lesson not there? I'm not finding it, Mitch or Mitchell. Thank you. Can you go to mind shifting? I've lost it, I guess.
No, I have the coloring pages here.
Um,
And so, no, I don't see another part
okay,
here.
I'll go to my copy then.
Because
No,
I'm on your copy,
okay.
but
I
maybe
have a
you had it
document
on
that I
mine.
interpreted today up. I can't remember without seeing it. I do have my copy here.
Okay.
You all, I guess, can't see it, so you might be kind of straying with your attention. I'm sorry about. Oh, wow. Where is it? I guess it must be up there. Okay, it is number 6. It's in number 6. I'll just read.
Okay.
It
I'll go
says,
back to sharing.
just present this term, just say the term, shift your minds, and discuss with them when might they want to shift their minds.
Right here. Right.
Yeah, there you are. Thank you. they feel upset, they need help, someone's yelling at them, they lost their teddy bear, another student cut them in the lunch line. And say just like you're really upset, so you don't want to feel that way or do something that's going to send you to the principal or have a further issue. So just kind of introduce the concept and say like what techniques could you use? Would the bunny breathing help you? Would some of your mindful ideas help you? Just kind of introduce it, I guess. And then at the end of the day, after doing all their science and math and recess and lunch, ask them if they recall a term of mindfulness or a breathing technique, or do they think they know anything? Do they know how to shift their minds in any way? As in, when they're getting on the bus, kind of when they're leaving the class to go on the bus or go home or go to the YMCA or all that stuff. That's the lesson.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, you got the
Yay.
students moving around, you have them doing fun stuff, you having them high five each other. It's really modular, so you can do it, you can have a 5-minute lesson or you could have a 45-minute lesson. And there's ways that you can easily adapt this for different grades. So you can use this in elementary school, you can use this for high school kids. Very flexible.
And bunny breathing is so fun. Probably because I teach kindergarten, but it's so fun.
Yeah, when you use it with the kids, I'd love to, like just I'd love if you reached out and just let us know. I see the bunny right there. Kevin has a bunny.
He's ready for his
Does
grandkids.
your bunny know how to
Take a
do
bunny
breathing?
too. Take the book, the coloring sheets, and the bunny.
Well, you know what I like, Mitch?
Yeah,
First
there's
of all,
the
the
figure
bunny
eight.
breathing.
I think
I
you could
was
do the figure eight with the bunny too. The
the
figure
crazy
eight
thing is with
with
my
a
older
bunny
kids,
puppet.
I use my puppets with the older kids, and I let them kind of let the bunny express itself. Some of them are shy about saying things themselves, and the bunny is remarkable because it sort of breaks them down. But the other thing I was thinking is if you have the cover of that other book, the mind shifting book, because I spent some time with this and it,
Cover. Oh, to show the kids the
yeah,
picture.
and say, is this proper? I mean, especially with high school kids who are into cars. Like you could say, is this really a good way to illustrate going from one place to another in your mind, but getting them to see a tangible picture? And I would love to interact with your kids and go on Zoom as the illustrator of that cover and let them kick my butt and say, shouldn't it have 6 gears? Shouldn't it have 9 gears? Shouldn't it be a diesel? What kind of 3-geared car are you driving? And let them just sort of, because the more they think about that, maybe the more they can visualize. I don't know.
Yeah, give them time with the word because their own brains really are worthy.
And they'll make their own connections, which will be a lot stronger than any connections that we give them, right?
Yeah, probably they'll be the ones that they use.
Yeah.
It's true. Thank
Yeah,
you.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay.
And we're open up for anyone who would like to go next.
And you can tell that when you share, it's a very appreciative audience. And it really helps everybody else out because then they know how to use your lesson. So it'd be great.
I can go quick before my battery dies.
Okay.
Okay, we'll have, do you want Mitch to share your?
Yes, please. I don't have it on this device. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. We'll get him to share.
Okay,
Thanks, Mitch.
sure. Oops. It's hey brain, what are you doing? No, that's not that's not the
Uh-uh.
one.
No.
Um, then so, if it's not the one, then somebody wrote over years by accident. Yeah, Tina Johnson is the owner. So yeah, hey brain, what are you doing? I think this is yours.
Mine is
Hers
who's going?
says, Brooke Lovegren, hers says positive self-talk.
That
Yeah.
Oh,
one's
is this Brooke? I'm sorry. I thought it was Tina who said that you were
No,
sharing.
Tina can go
Okay.
if she's ready.
So, no, I'm sorry. I thought I saw that it was Tina, but okay, Brooke. So, then I looked at the wrong.
Can't take him anywhere. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I had a gray box go over mine yesterday. I was trying to figure out why it was doing that when I was putting it in the thing there. So I don't
Sometimes
know.
Okay.
when you have other pages open and we're sharing, it causes the what I call like the or the gray square to kind of show up on the rest of our things. We're
Yes.
learning it with Mitch as he has all the
Yes.
things open all the time. So it
Sorry.
should go away if you don't have certain things open.
Hmm. Okay, Brooke.
Okay, so mine really isn't a full lesson plan. It's just the beginning part, but I would love to do the whole lesson over positive self-talk and affirmations. But I only got the positive self-talk part written up. So when they go to kindergarten, their teacher calls them can do kids. So as much as I can in TK, I try to start that positive self-talk with them. So I usually just explain it what it is at circle time and give examples and non-examples. Our school counselor um, does different things like stand up if this is a positive example, or sit down if this is not a good example, or just different activities to get them interacting with the lesson instead of just thumbs up, thumbs down, or yes and no. And so I wanted to include that with it because it's something that they're already familiar with doing. And then the next day, probably because they don't have very long attention spans, of course, would have them give examples of something positive about themselves or something positive about a friend. So just getting them practicing it, but in a controlled environment so that it can be easily corrected if it needs to be. And then in following days, just continuing to do that. There's lots of good kids books that I would use with this. Slumberkins has some really good, when I start using affirmations more, they have a lot of affirmations that I like. And then also incorporating some of additional resources from our Character Strong lessons, and different things that our counselor may have to also incorporate it into the lessons.
So you're really building self-awareness in pre-K kids, which is so cool because they're learning to differentiate between when they're like what we would call, sage brain, when they're can do, and when they can't do. And I mean and they're so young, and this gives them something to build on, for the rest of their lives, right?
Yeah, and I like starting them young so they can learn that and carry it on into their later lives because I don't remember ever doing anything like this when I was in elementary school. So just there's a lot of negativity out there nowadays. So keeping that out as much as possible is my overall goal in the classroom.
And really, self-awareness is where everything starts. You can't really self-regulate until you learn how to be self-aware, and you're building that um, at a really young age. So
And I
that's
don't
amazing.
know if you've noticed, but our COVID babies, because all of our kids coming in from last year on have kind of been a little lack that self-sufficiency and that awareness because they don't have experience with it. And so to have a resource, especially at such a young age, with our kiddos coming in that are facing life differently than we did, I think it's an amazing resource. I was just talking to a coworker of mine about that. Like, she's like, why are these kids like whining about everything? Like, or they don't know how to interact. And it's like, well, these are our COVID kids.
Yep. It started
Yeah.
out day one with them learning how to open their own snacks, even because they didn't even know how to do that because everything's always been done for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't start whining until after I got married, so
And he hasn't stopped since.
and I haven't stopped.
Good job.
Yeah, wonderful
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
I can go next.
A little more enthusiasm when you say it.
That was pretty
I
exciting.
can go next.
Okay.
Excellent, Tina. Well done.
Okay. It's that public speaking thing. I'm like, okay, you can use this and not have the saboteur doing. It's like, come on. Oh, well, can you share, please?
Sure. I love the title.
Oh, thank you. I was trying to get a peak interest, right? That's my whole idea, is being informational and pique some ideas. So, hey, brain, what are you doing? It's the automatic critical thinking. It's like, so what does that mean, right? Next page or slide.
Mhm.
So then the title, I try to connect what they mean by automatic and where it's at. So identifying that this automatic brain is part of the lower part of the brain, right? So make that connection there. So did you know that your brain works in an automatic way? This part of your brain makes your decisions within hundredths of a second. So second. So I had to make it think 1 second, 1/100th of one of those. And it's like making a realization of how fast it's thinking. So the reason for this is, I'm going to slow down. The reason for this very fast decision is that you can survive and minimize cognitive load. This means that you are physically ready to move into a mode to protect yourself from danger. Your lower brain does not know the difference between real danger, life or death situations, which I emphasize that several times in there so that they know what real danger meant, and or minor inconveniences, like something made you angry. Next slide. And then at the title, this one, I switched it from the lower part of the brain to now automatic mode or limbic brain. So identifying that part. So another name for this part of the brain is called the limbic brain. When this part of the brain is activated, it goes into action. Flight, you are running away. Fight, you have anger and aggression and are going to fight. Freeze, you do nothing. The body has now flooded the brain with hormones. So now they can envision their brain just being flooded with cortisol and adrenaline so that you can accomplish the actions for survival. These actions can become habits, acting and reacting, which means they become automatic responses and the way we think. Next slide. Then I continue to the title. So when we think or make sense of something, we create something called scripts or stories. So this makes them move into understanding that our automatics become our real understanding of the world. So these are shortcuts for the brain, which conserves energy by not thinking things through. This is great for life and death situations, but not if they are not. When this part of your brain is being activated, it is not thinking critically or thinking through what would be the more appropriate response. If it is not a life or death situation, like arguing over who gets to go first, or you think someone did something that hurt your feelings on purpose, but it really was an accident. Next slide. So I did the yellow for that, and then the green code goes for sage, right? So then we're into the critical thinking mode or the upper brain. So identify what it is. So this part of your brain makes your decision in 2 to 3 seconds. And then I wrote, did you notice that it is a little slower to make a decision versus your limbic brain? So conversations could happen throughout all of the slides. It doesn't have to go through all the slides. Before we can have a conversation, we can have a conversation within each of the slides if we need to. So your upper brain is a place where your critical thinking happens or think things through to make the best decision. When your brain is in this mode, it can be more resourceful and your capabilities are better to help you. Next slide. So then critical thinking brain, and then I identify it with the prefrontal cortex, so it's more scientific and whatnot. So another name for the upper brain is called the prefrontal cortex. The body now is flooding the brain with happy hormones, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins, so that you can accomplish thinking in a curiously, exploratively, or playful way. This means you have a relaxed brain that is capable of thinking better to help yourself and those around you. Next slide. So critical thinking, again, the same title. And so when this part of your brain is activated, it can be empathetic. So then I do the definitions, able to put yourself in their situations and feel it. Creative, able to think of ways that is beneficial to all. Problem solver, able to figure out how to solve the problem or problems. Anger management, able to be in control of your anger, even if you are angry. Collaborative, able to work with other people, even though you have different ways of thinking. Next slide. Kept the title. So when we are critical thinking mode, we are able to make informed decisions, analyze what's the best option we could be, evaluate the pros and cons of which actions to take, and be in control of our emotions and responses. For example, being able to work with people who have different ways of doing things and agreeing how to do a task together by compromising or deciding which idea works better for the solution and not get upset if your idea was not chosen for the solution. Next slide. So then I've got the limbic brain versus the prefrontal cortex. So we have learned that the limbic brain is great for life and death situations, but not for daily distresses and frustrations and disappointments. Because the limbic brain is automatic, we can get into unhealthy habits with the scripts of stories we tell ourselves. We need to train ourselves to be aware of when our limbic brain is active. Why, you say? Because the unhealthy scripts and stories can make our lives unmanageable and unhappy. Next. Here we go. And then we have to become aware. So I'm telling you what to do, or suggestions rather. We have to become aware of our body. Is my heart pounding? Is my voice raised? Did my hands turn into fists? Is my body becoming tense? If we are not in life or death situation, it's time to intercept the limbic brain. We intercept our brain by calming yourself down by utilizing mindfulness. Take a breath, deep breathing, and other like calming activities. Remember, the limbic brain must be deactivated before the prefrontal cortex can function properly. Next slide. Now we can begin using the prefrontal cortex and delve into which sage powers I would like to choose to solve the problems. What is a sage power? There are 5 of them. Empathy, you can choose to see from their perspective and why. Exploration, you can choose to be curious as to what happened and what will happen without judgment. Innovation, you choose to be encouraging and build on the other person's ideas to create something new. Next slide. Navigate, you can choose to do what is most important. What would a wiser, older person say? Activate, you choose to stay in the prefrontal cortex thinking even when obstacles appear and your negative thoughts are trying to get you to be a limbic brain mode, non-thinking mode. Negative thought scripts and stories are called saboteurs. They live in the limbic brain because they are automatic unless we change them. Next slide. So next, you're going to identify your brain. Next time you feel a confrontation happening or disagreement, acknowledgement how you physically feel, verify if your brain is thinking this is a life or death situation. If it's not, interpret it with appropriate dialogue or distraction or mindfulness or taking a break or deep breathing or something calm, some calming activity. After you have your prefrontal cortex brain cortex brain back, proceed to utilizing your sage powers to defeat the saboteurs. The end. I was distressing myself with my own activity with my voice. So, because my saboteurs were in my brain right now.
Yeah, and Kevin's been looking for something like this forever.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Right. Yes. Yes, because I mean, so unfortunately, and I wish I did, I don't think this logically and this thoroughly the way the way you just did. And
Mhm.
so, you've put this together. It's complete. It walks people, kids too, but
Mhm.
through the concepts, how to recognize what's happening and how to take steps. And this is, this is wonderful.
That was
You know,
my idea, was to go through each little, trying to do one step and then identify what that is and match it to the next step. And yeah.
yeah, it's you have a lot of breaking off points, so you can, whoever, you could use this for kids, you could use this for adults, and all these breaking off points, you could lead discussions on different areas, and people can try it out. So,
So she's taking
yeah,
over our job. That's what just
yeah,
happened.
right.
We don't need us anymore. We're out. No, it's really well put together. It's easy to see. And for me, I'm a color person, and I like that you use like pale, kind of pastel-y, soothing colors in the background, so it wasn't like all in my face.
Right.
Really nicely done.
Cool. Thank you very much.
So, okay, so years ago, when we were doing Web 2.0, I invented this idea of the Web 2.0 keychain, and I took it to ISTE, and it was this paper thing that kind of became a hit. And what happened is that each one of the blades in that little keychain had a QR code, and like Jane would pop up, or Tammy would pop up, or Tina would pop up and explain it. So if you were looking for that one, you could scan it real quick and get briefed back on it. So like you haven't looked at this in 2 months and you need to get back up to speed. So taking this and translating this into a mind shifting keychain. And you could have your kids do the videos that are attached to the QR codes. So they're explaining what each of these things does. Make them do the work, get this planted in their head. So anyway, I'm excited. I just want to shoplift this right away.
Yeah, and Tina, you can just tell Kevin he's not allowed to use it too if you want to.
All good. You can use it.
Too late. Yep.
It's gone. He's already using it.
Right.
Awesome, guys, keep them coming. We've got 30 more minutes, which is about time for 2 or 3 more presentations. So this is your chance. Share the spotlight
Right.
with us.
And I'll also say one of the things is that we will take all these videos and we'll break them down. So if you go, you get a video that you can use, in your school or as a presentation, however you want to use it. So it's kind of like you get, um, that's what you get when you present it. You get your own video.
And then we steal it.
Mm.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm really spicy today. I don't know what happened.
Okay, so Linda, um, Linda, did you put it in an email or did you put it in the spreadsheet?
I sent it in an email because I didn't have time to put in the other, and I'm not very techy.
Okay.
So I have to have someone help me to do that or do those QR
Oh,
codes or whatever. But why I wanted to present is because there is a big shortage of teachers for the visually impaired, and that's nationally. That's East Coast, West Coast, and everywhere in between. There's less than 40 schools. When I first started, or even like 20 years ago when I was doing research for Washington, there was only 22 teacher preparation programs in the nation. We've serviced a fraction of 1%. And when colleges have to cut back, that's something that can get cut easily.
so
Anyway,
Linda, I'm not seeing. I see the email. It says I need to work with the tech person to
did I
use
forget
QR
to put it
boxes.
in? I know,
I
because
don't see it.
rushed. Well, anyway, I will try sending it again as an attachment. But the main thing is if anybody was thinking they wanted a career change, there are teacher preparation programs in Washington. And I know when I used to live in Utah, we had them as well, that they have grant programs. They help pay for your tuition and all that. But you don't have to give up. You're a teacher already. and then you add another endorsement onto it. And it may be as many as 35 credits, but some of them say you only have to do 10 hours worth of vision in your week. And so many districts buy into it because they can't find a vision teacher. At the moment, there are 9 openings this into the school year in Washington State. So I'll have to go out and email it to you and then come back.
Okay.
But if not, you don't need it. It'll be in your thing because I wanted to put in like need a challenge. Tired of 25 to 30 in a classroom? Here's an answer. Work one-on-one, variety of levels and ages, learn Braille by sight, not touch. And that's always what I mention about being a vision teacher is I go, oh, I can't learn Braille. I could never do that. But really, I'm doing it sighted, and I've been doing it 46 years, and I still like it, and I've retired 3 times. But I keep getting asked back because they can't find a teacher. And I really want to superly retire. So that's why I wanted to do this. Plus, at the moment, most of my students don't think even at the kindergarten level. And so they have a lot more global issues because, as you say, younger and younger babies, you get more complex, involved students. And I've had gifted kids who have gone on to own their own companies, totally blind since birth. I've had to do pre-calculus and calculus with my students that were in high school, and I've had to learn to match colors. So the variety is there. So eventually it will be in a nice little tidy thing if someone shows me how to put it into your spreadsheet, because that's been my biggest problem with this class. But excuse me. Anyway, if you thought of a change and you're tired of a classroom or 150 kids in a day, if you're secondary, you get a much smaller caseload. Sometimes I'm 5 days a week with the students, and sometimes I'm once a month.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Sorry, my voice is going.
Yeah, sounds really interesting. And if you either email me or put it in the spreadsheet, but if you email it to me, we'll get it into the spreadsheet.
It's so interesting because like I never think about the niche that you fill as somebody like me who's just in general education. Like that's got to be a huge niche that somebody could get in on. So and hopefully you'll be able to retire for real soon. Awesome job. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Do we have at least 2 more brave souls that would love to share their amazing work? What we are hearing is Kevin rapidly stealing all of your
Right.
work.
I can go. It's just a little infographic though, so it'll be
that's
extremely
perfect.
quick.
Thanks, Kelly. Kelsey. I'm sorry,
Kelsey.
not Kelly. I don't know. I
It's
just saw
all
your name for
good.
like a hot second. I'm sorry.
So, do you want me to share it? Do you want to share it?
I think I have the ability to share. Let's see
Just tell me
here.
you wrote the song too.
Yes, I do think tunes. That's me as the music teacher constantly. It is
So I
not
have it.
allowing me to. I'm working from
Okay.
my phone, but it is in the spreadsheet.
Right, I have it.
Amazing. So I'm a high school music teacher, and right now I am rebuilding my programs. And so in my classroom, I have all 9th through 12th graders, with the majority of my students being freshmen. And they have what I call freshman brain. Like really hard. So that's when they just think of like themselves and not necessarily how their actions affect others and or themselves like around them. And as an ensemble class, that's something that needs to be changed like immediately, because if my single flute player decides no, this is too hard, like that's my entire melodic line that's now gone. So I created this infographic because we've been having a lot of conversations about when they receive new music to not panic, because no matter what level they're at, like they have some skills mastered. And so it's like, no matter what you receive on the page, like you know how to do at least something on that page, whether it's like, oh, I'm at least able to read it with my eyes. Like I can't physically play it, but I can read along with it and not get lost. Yes. Like that's huge. And so I created this infographic to hopefully put up on the wall. And so it's when they are receiving a new piece of music to sight read for the very first time. So it's like, first, don't panic. So break it down into chunks because you all know these basic things. So you all know like what the time is. You all know like where the key signature is located. You all know like a basic form. Like, so identify these little things. And if you then see what you can go from there, and so I've been having this discussions with kids. And so, for example, just this week, we received our sheet music for our spring musical, which is really, really intense. And the kids have been listening to the rehearsal tracks and they're going like, what the heck is happening in that saxophone? Like, why are they asking for enharmonic, like growl humming? What are they doing? And so I've been having kids just listen and looking at the music, and they're like, I don't even know where to start. I'm like, just listen and look, see where you can follow. I'll call out numbers when I'm there. And even then, I'm like going, I'm having a hard time myself following along. You're fine. Like, so just taking down the process and breaking it down, the kids have been finding more and more success, and they're showing less feelings of dread when reaching for their music. So for example, I had a student who had been listening to the music and was like, okay, I think I'm going to finally pull out the saxophone and see if I can at least play the notes on the page. I'm like, cool. So yesterday they pulled it out, and of course it sounded terrible because there was no melodic line at all. They're just playing random notes, making sure they have their fingerings. Today they pulled it out again. They're like, okay, play the recording. I'm going to see if I can like read along with it. I'm like, cool. And they finished the recording. They're like, I didn't lose my place on the song. I knew exactly where I was. Could I play it? Absolutely not. But I knew where I was, kind of a thing. And that's huge. So I think I really want to put this like somehow up on my wall. I have plenty of wall space. If anybody's ever been in a typical music room, they're huge. So, or I might have a kid make me one with their own little things on it. I think it might be cool. But yeah, I've just noticed it's really helped with my kids. A lot more success.
I like it. It's something I could like. While it's funny because while you were talking, I was thinking about how last year we started a new curriculum, and while I'm trying to learn the new curriculum, I'm also teaching it. So I'm like sitting there and I'm looking at it and I'm trying to teach the curriculum while learning it at the same time. And the look of that
100%. Yeah, you're
lizard,
like,
and like the kids are right along on that journey with me, and I don't know why, but when you were presenting, I was like, oh man, where was this when I was there last year? Like, I feel like
yeah, like
useful.
it's always daunting until you realize, like, no, there's some of this parts of this task I know I can do. I just need to know which parts I know I can do and then go from there.
And break it up. Like it's funny because like I've been teaching for years. And every time a new curriculum comes, it's like, what are words and how do I use them? And
yeah, what is scope and sequence?
Right.
What
How
is
should we
this?
do this? So really
Yeah, I have a
nicely
curriculum
done.
meeting tomorrow, so I know all about it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, it takes, something that's very difficult because you look at the page and there's all this stuff and there's all these dots, and yet, you've broken it down into, well, there's three parts to this page, and you just look at one part at a time. So, and you've done it very graphically. So, and built in, like, uh, limbic brain, frustrated and lost, versus sage brain, which is be wise and ready. So,
Mm-hmm.
so really, really cool.
Thank you.
And we have time if there's one more person that would like to share, and then we can just kind of keep it open for any questions before ending. But is there at least one more person that would like to share?
Please.
But while we're waiting on y'all to think about, well, it's not going to be me, I'm not going to share, but you're going to share. When our course is over, Mitch, Kevin, Tammy, and I will be looking through all of the things that you've submitted, from your reflections to your project, including the reflection after this class, and then emailing you to let you know, like, hey, you have all your stuff, or hey, you're missing reflection for this course, or so on and so forth, so that you're able to get your clock hours and credit for the class. And then if there's any individual issues, we can handle that as they come. But if you think or you are missing any of the stuff, we just ask that we try to get it in within, because we'll start really like harassing you within the week.
Yeah. Well, actually, so in a week we have to submit stuff in a week. So we'll just go.
To clarify, I will not be harassing anybody. You're all adults. If you want to turn it in, great. If you don't, you know what? If you want the clock hours, turn them in. That's all I got.
I don't know why, but that's scarier to me. Just the thought of you not harassing me. But yes, no, Tammy is very correct. If you're missing components or stuff, we'll let you know. But please feel free to put in your reflections. We've really enjoyed reading them. These projects are amazing. So if you're still on the fence on whether or not to share, this is your sign that we still have 10 minutes left, and we would love to hear.
So, I usually don't call people out, but it's just like, now it's just, so Elizabeth,
I'm sorry,
Buller.
Mitch. You call people out all the freaking time.
Never, not once. Never. Have I ever said something obnoxious about you or to you? Not once.
Like every single day.
Well, other than that.
Other than every single, never.
So, Elizabeth, yours is pretty funny. So, are you here, Elizabeth Buller?
I don't see her.
I don't see her.
I think she had to leave.
Ah, darn. Okay.
But he never calls people out, so you don't have to worry. Monica says she has a question about PD hours. Monica, you're up.
Hey, thank you. So I understand that this is 20 hours, right?
In total, right? Yep.
Total. And are we gonna be paying money? Because this is what has been happening to me lately. I take a course, it says free, and then when I get my
clock hours, it charges you.
You need to pay so much money. So
The workshop is free.
Mm-hmm.
Washington State does not allow us to pay for your clock hours. So as per standard, when you take a workshop, the workshop is free to you, right? Our time is free to you.
Thank you very much.
But when you go to pay for, they will not allow us to pay for your clock hours.
So what does that mean? That was my question.
So
that
in Washington,
means that you will get, when you get a survey, they will add the clock hours, but you still have to pay for them. What is it, $3 a clock hour?
yeah, I think plus $5 to the ESD. So it's
So
$60. So
20.
it's $65 for the 20 clock hours.
That was the question. Okay,
Right.
65. And do you have any idea when would you be able to put that up?
So we're going to wait before we submit them to Washington for a week to give people a chance to finish everything. So in about a week, we will submit them to Washington. Then it takes them a couple days to process it. When Tammy used to do it, it would sometimes take a month, but the person who's doing it now is a lot more efficient.
And Tammy has never processed clock hours, but thank you.
Okay. Not that I would ever call her out.
No, never, never, Mitch.
And I also wanted to thank you for sending me a reminder of the things that I had done and I didn't. That was very helpful. And I know that was a lot of work, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so I think you probably will get a notice from Washington in somewhere between 2 and 2.5 weeks about the clock hours. And the same thing in New York State. You'll get a, I don't know, I don't think that there's a price in New York State because it's your district in New York State that awards the clock hours, but you will get something from the New York State Teacher Centers to say that you have completed a certain number of clock hours, and I think you have to fill out an evaluation form for them. And then once you get that, you then take it to your district and you get the clock hours. Okay. So we can't even convince just one person to do a quick share.
Mitch, it's 9 minutes. Quit calling people out and give them 9 minutes of their life back.
All right. Well, then
You're
everybody.
not going to pay for their clock hours. It's the least you can do.
I guess you know something. You're right. When you're right, Tammy, you're right.
Which is rare. And even when I am right, you never admit it.
Well, I did this once.
Well, I know. Somebody should take notes.
You can write it to Ripley.
I will make a note of it.
Okay. Okay, then we'll give everybody your extra 8 minutes. You know, some of us will stay on just in case you have other questions. And you know, for me, thank you so much for coming to the class. I've really enjoyed the reflections and reading them and interacting with all of you, and hope to see you online or at a conference or something.
Well,
for those of you that shared, thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing.
And for those of you that didn't, no shame or blame, but we appreciate you being here.
Yes, thank you guys.
You got another one in 4 weeks, right? The number 2.
Right, the resilient mindsets.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say one more. How do I get on the next one?
So it's in PD Enroller.
Yep, the same way you got on this one. Go to PD Enroller and sign up.
It's filled right now.
That's what I was gonna say. You had to open this one for me.
An amount.
We are emailing the people who are in it just to ask them to confirm that they're really in it, so that they'll make room for people who are on the wait list. And then, you know, we may a couple days in advance just like open it up to more people too.
Yeah, Mitch. Last I knew, there were 63 people, and what did we cap it at?
We capped it at 60.
Okay, so there's 11 people on the wait list.
Right.
I checked yesterday.
Okay.
So you can choose to let them in.
Okay. I'm going to be on the waiting list then.
Okay.
Thank you guys. If you see my name, click accept.
Okay. Well, it's not me. I can't, but I can, we can increase the number of people.
I understand.
Okay.
We don't have that kind of power.
Right. You do. You can do everything.
Okay. I'm letting you know I'm attending the next one.
Oh, good. Good. We'll see you there.
I signed up for all 3 of them.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought I had put my project in the. Do you have my project, Laura Mayer?
Laura?
No. We have Laura Barnes.
No, yeah, I didn't see it on there. I'll play with it, and I mean, I have one. I just
You
If it's
can feel free to
something you
email it
don't,
to us too.
Laura, if you end up not seeing it, email it to Mitch or I or Jane, and we will get it in there.
okay. All right. I'll work on it, getting it in there by tomorrow.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
Laura.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey Tammy, I've been wanting to say it since the beginning and I haven't yet. Go Eags.
Thank you. I'm a big fan. Although today, I'm going to tell you, I wore this sage green shirt, goes down to my knees. I wore Lego green earrings. I wore a jade necklace, and but I had it's cold out here where we are, so I put on my Eastern Eagle jacket. And kid looks at me and says, "Where's your green?" And I said, "I'm wearing almost all green." And I had green shoes, by the way. And they're like, "Yeah, but we can't see it with your Eagle jacket." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not taking off my coat. It's freaking freezing." So thank you. Go Eagles. Absolutely. And the first time in forever, I filled out my bracket. So go Zags.
Okay.
I'll second that too.
Let's go. Let's go Gonzaga.
It's Gonzaga. Don't you know how to pronounce it? It's Gonzaga.
No, it is not. And if you ever say that on this side of the state, somebody will go ape shit.
You think you could say Puyallup?
Well, let me tell you, the Zags thing, it's a matter of pride. Like I was on campus once, and I don't